stop for the sun from shining whenever you're out.
Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thanks for joining me today for the Savvy Sagittarius December Horoscope. And another big month is rolling around. And Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates Christmas because it's this month. So we have four major things happening. There's a minor grand trine for most of the star signs. We have Venus going retrograde. We also have a solar eclipse in your sign, so that will particularly affect you, solar eclipse in Sagittarius. And we have Jupiter changing houses and then going into Pisces on the 28th of the month. So it is a big month astrologically speaking. Just to briefly explain, if you're new, I like to draw two tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. Then we'll have a look at your horoscope in depth, and then I'll do a psychic channeling at the end. I never know what I'm going to say. I don't judge what I say. It just appears as a clairvoyant picture. Sometimes I hear things as well, or the energy might just come through my body, and then I can, feel it in my body. So I'll do that right at the end. Okay, if you're new, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell right now. Okay, so let's go to the board and have a look at what these cards have to say. I've already pre-shuffled them, but I'll give them a light shuffling now, and that one will do. That one on top there, I've got a lot of green in front of me. That means growth. It's also opportunity. And I get the word embrace. See, I just see, because I'm clairvoyant, I actually just see that word embrace in sort of white writing in front of my mind here, my eyes, if you like. So embrace. So there's changes coming. It's time to embrace them. Now there's a stone wall in front of me. I'm looking very carefully at the stones in the wall, and then I realise I can just step over the wall. It's not very high at all. Maybe there was a restriction or a limitation that you previously had. You could have made it from a mountain, from a molehill into a mountain, or something has changed, so it's actually minimal now. So you can easily step out of some restrictive situation. The card that comes up is the King of Swords. A lot of people don't like this card, a lot of readers. I actually don't mind it because it's very necessary. And the way you're going to step out of your restrictions is by using the Sword of Truth here that this energy is going to give you. So it's like you think your way out of problems. You see here, he is sitting on a diamond with a diamond at the back. Diamonds are caused by heat and pressure. That means that there was some sort of stressful situation that led this energy to become so analytical and so logical about a certain situation. It's like, even though there's emotion there, the logic is becoming stronger and stronger. You'll see he's also dressed in this blue, indigo blue. That says to me that he's in touch with his own intuition, the third eye. So there's sort of like a clairvoyance type factor here, or the gift of being able to see the scenario where it might go. And you'll also notice this is a king. He has a crown on his head, so the crown chakra is open. So it's like the energy is flowing into you from spirit, and it's going to it's going to influence your mind, lead you to a certain conclusion or a certain outcome or a result that you have to take action to put into play. But I find it a really beneficial card. Sometimes there's a ruthlessness with this. You might have to take a ruthless action if you're in a ruthless situation. Where possible, it's always best to run your thoughts and your actions, to run them through your heart first, and that brings up sort of care and consideration, but it might be care and consideration for you, not necessarily the other person. That's fine. Okay, that's the first one, maybe the first half of the month if you're thinking about time. And now the second card, or second half of the month. Let's see. I'll go with that one there. Closing my eyes now. What do I see for Savvy Sagittarius? Second half of December 2021. Okay, I see more swords. Instead of the swords being pulled out of the earth, which is what you normally see, like, for example, the legend of King Arthur, then it's like they're being pulled out of a block of ice. So maybe you haven't been thinking logically about a certain situation for, you haven't thought about it in a logical or analytical way. Perhaps it's been a while or a long time. Ice is like being sort of frozen in time. And sometimes there's some isolation or loneliness associated with ice as well. But you know what? Ice melts. So you can pull the sword of truth out of the ice with not much effort now, whereas before it might have taken a lot of effort. This is about you thinking your way out of the circumstance. Okay, so here we've got swords again. It's all about thinking. Do be careful that you get enough rest. It's time to recuperate. You could be feeling exhausted on some level, perhaps, and there's so much going on in the world. We're all exhausted if we're just staying home and do nothing. We're still exhausted because in the ether, there's lots of changes happening all the time. And the world really is leaving the old era behind and moving forward into the future now. And we've got to process that transition of energy. And so, yes, that can lead us to feel rather exhausted. It's good to get out in nature. That will replenish us. So perhaps go to the beach, go to a forest, or have something to do with animals. Even if you go and find some farm animals, or something like that, that would help you walk around with the farm animals. But you need rest. Okay, all right, so there are your cards. Do bear those in mind. Now I'm just going to make this a bit bigger so that you can see it. Often the cards come up in the horoscope too, the messages of the cards, so I'm just going to leave those here. Now there are some really good influences. The first thing I want to talk about is this minor grand trine with Mars in Scorpio in your 12th house. This gives you the desire to get ahead, but perhaps because it's in the 12th house, there is limitation around that. Remember how I said right at the beginning I saw the stone wall which was limiting you or restricting you in some way. You're going to find a way over. It's not very tall. It's only like a foot tall, or 300 millimeters if you're in new language. So you can step over it, but perhaps you've been restricted for so long you haven't realised that yet. But this gives you some energy. Do be careful here with Mars in the 12th because sometimes accidents can happen or you get irritable for no sort of reason. You can't pick a reason on it. It's because it's in the 12th house. Things are hidden. This is working with Venus here in Capricorn in your second, so money is involved. Venus looks after money and she's in your second house of money and possessions, so money might become easier for you in some way with Venus there, okay? And it's on a real physical level, so you could get additional money, you could get money through investments. Venus doesn't mind the odd investment because she likes to buy luxury items and beautiful things. So there's some, whichever way you look at it, there's major things happening here with your money supply. Then we have Neptune in Pisces in the 4th house of home and family. Be a little bit cautious. It's a lovely spiritual influence at home, at your place, or with your family or close friends. But do be a little bit cautious because sometimes it can bring delusions or illusions, or you trust someone that you shouldn't because they're not presenting you with the full picture. They're just telling you anything basically, and because you trust them, you believe them. So watch that. But these 3 planets are all working together and they make this what's called a minor grand trine. So that's fabulous. Now, the next thing to note is that Venus is going retrograde in your second house of money. So that's on the 19th. So things could be going quite well up until then, and then it goes quiet. So please, please, please do not overspend at Christmas time if you celebrate Christmas, because not everyone does. But you need to find a new way after the 19th, a new way to deal with your money. And it's best to start thinking about it now. You also have a solar eclipse in your sign here. This is a new beginning in your identity and your core beliefs, okay? And it's likely to be quite strong because I've put there solar eclipse. It's a lunar eclipse. I don't know why I've been writing solar eclipse. That's crazy. It's a lunar eclipse. Anyway, not to worry. So the solar eclipse... Oh, sorry, December. It is a solar eclipse. It's a lunar eclipse in November when I've been doing this. Okay, that makes complete sense to me now. Anyway, so you have a solar eclipse in your side. So this is very strong energy bubbling up from within you. You could change your identity, and that means new clothes, new hair, new makeup, how you appear to the world could be changed in some way, but people will probably notice it. But again, make sure in those changes that you don't overspend. Then we have Jupiter moving into your 4th house of home and family, expanding your focus there. Perhaps you're thinking about renovations as well, or beautifying your home somewhere, and don't overspend there either. Okay, so that's those main things that are happening. Now, the other influences, Mars conjuncting Mars from the 30th of November to the up until the 3rd of December. This gives you a lot of confidence, and you feel more powerful than usual. You have sort of more vitality or more energy to get stuff done. With Mars, be careful of accidents, anger, and irritability, and especially with Mars here in your 12th house. 30th of November to the 3rd, we have Venus sextiling Mars, which is fabulous because there could be new relationships here. You're feeling warm and affectionate and lively. There's loving feelings between you and other people, and friendships are strengthened. Also, you might make something beautiful now or meet a special friend. We have the solar eclipse in Sagittarius in the 1st house, which I just talked about, your identity, but it also brings increased perceptiveness and sensitivity, and you're more likely to feel the emotional currents of people around you, okay? You might lack objectivity or react from habit or from things that have happened in the past, so just watch that. 8th to the 15th, Venus conjuncts Pluto. This stirs up deep emotions within you. It could be things like jealousies, insecurities. It feels quite intense. And there is also a strong need to give love and receive love. You could develop a powerful attraction to someone who fascinates and mystifies you. It's a great time now to reveal your deepest feelings to people that you trust, okay? Be cautious who you trust. If you need a psychic reading, ring us here at absolutesoulsecrets.com. Our psychics are very big on confidentiality. 12th to the 15th, Mars conjuncts the Ascendant. You come across assertively and energetically now. Other people don't have the same amount of energy that you do, so just watch that because some people you might feel offended, or maybe they're jealous of the amount of energy that you have. But it is time for positive, decisive action on your part. You can get ahead and become more independent. 12th to the 24th of January 2022, Mars in your sign, again giving you more energy. So these restrictions and blockages when Mars is here in the 12th house disappear when it comes over here into your sign. It's like you can finally carry out what you wanted to carry out, and you probably won't be feeling very very patient at the moment, because you've been holding off or you've been waiting for a certain situation, and now you can move ahead and do what you want. 13th to the 2nd of January, Mercury is in your second house here, and this brings up a lot of discussion about your finances, commercial transactions, and material security. And you're thinking about your money and how you manage your resources. It's a great time to consult with a financial planner and get your business affairs in order. 18th of December sees the full moon here in your 7th house of partnerships, legalities, and known enemies. So known enemies are basically people that you don't get on with, but you know you don't get on with them, so you just sort of manage it. And with the sun there, with the full moon there, you might find something happens and it's a little bit turbulent, it stirs things up in relationships. So it's time to give your relationships that are important, your business partnerships or your personal partnerships, give them time and energy now. Okay, and also there could be a need to connect with important women in your life, or something comes up about your mother. Then we have 21st of December to the 20th of January 2022. The sun moves into your second house, bringing lots of insight and awareness around your financial security. And again, I must say, be careful that you don't overspend. But if you do have some issues with money, you might begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel now, and it'll become clear to you what you're supposed to do. 12th of December to the 1st of January 2022, Saturn sextiles Mercury. This is fabulous. It gives you extra concentration and you can communicate very effectively, and you're likely to be more organised than usual and quite structured. You can reach agreement with other people, especially regarding rules and regulations, because Saturn looks after those. Any organisational meetings that you attend are likely to go quite well, and you can come up with a plan of action, what to do. If there has been ambiguous or unclear communication with other people, it can be cleared up. Any misunderstandings from the past, that have come about, especially with the result of the moon, the full moon here. There can be some healing or resolution there. You will set the record straight. 24th to the 27th, Mars trines Chiron, and you're likely to be more in tune with your own inner energy and your own healing resources. Chiron is the wounded healer, and now you're being given the gift of healing yourself and perhaps other people as well. So you can find a healthy channel for your physical and emotional growth and well-being. So that's fabulous. 25th to the 28th, Mars sextiles Saturn. This gives you a lot of self-discipline. You can persevere, and you have the ability and stamina to achieve now. Okay, so you can put the effort in and get something that's really practical done. 24th of December to the 30th, Venus conjuncts Pluto, brings up deep emotions from deep within you. Could be things like fears or insecurities or resentment, and also this need to be loved or give love. And you could also develop a very powerful attraction to someone who is quite fascinating. Just be cautious, don't wear your heart on your sleeve too much. It's not really appropriate if you just met someone recently to profess your undying love forever. They'll probably run a mile if you do that, so I wouldn't do that. 24th of December to the 3rd of January, Jupiter squares your ascendant. Okay, this is one of the rare times when, because it's a square, it's usually quite difficult and there's a challenge there. But with Jupiter, it's not so bad, because there's a very promising opportunity here, but you mustn't think that, it's going to be perfect. It could be that, if it looks too good to be true, it is too good to be true. But success is still likely, but maybe not at the same level that you were hoping for. It is a time for new avenues to come into your life and to open up. Okay, just watch for being overconfident, and it's not the time to gamble, but you might feel like gambling. But it's best to investigate, proceed with a plan, and avoid wild speculation. 27th to the 11th of May 2022, Jupiter moves into your fourth house here of home and family, and then into Pisces in this house on the 28th. This improves your family relationships. You could move to a larger home or someplace more comfortable. There's more security and contentment around you. It's also a great time for investing in real estate or home improvements. It's likely to work out quite well in the end. 21st to the 9th, Saturn squares Uranus. We've been dealing with this most of 2021, and it'll go well into 2022, most of the year. And it brings frustration. It's like somebody throws a wet blanket over your enthusiasm. You could feel blocked or hemmed in. There's limitations. And it's time, if you get that, it means it's time to look at the situation and try a new angle. It's not the time for reckless behaviour now, because you'll probably get caught, particularly if it's anything to do with breaking the law. You know, if you could, on your phone in your car, for example, you probably get caught. So just watch that. Yeah, it's frustrating, but it's also sort of trying to get you to tweak your plans. Don't give up on things that are very important to you. You just have to modify them. Okay, be patient. 30th of December to the 9th of January 2022, Jupiter trines the moon. This is lovely. You're likely to feel quite agreeable, easygoing and tolerant now. You could be lounging around at home, and yeah, it's time to relax and recuperate. So do that and you'll rejuvenate yourself. It's only 9 or 10 days, so that's fine. You don't want this sort of going on for weeks and weeks, because you're not going to achieve as much as you could. So it's a good idea to go for a walk in the morning, and yeah, just please yourself. If you can have time off, that would be fabulous. It's very harmonious and pleasant, this energy. And finally, 3rd of December to the 5th of March 2022, Uranus trines your MC. This brings exciting developments either in your overall life direction or your career. It's very positive. You're likely to feel more enthusiastic. There's more energy around you, and you're just sort of excited about things. If you're in a really boring job and you find it's tedious, you may somehow break free of this inertia. That might mean a new job or perhaps even a promotion. But there's improvements in your work life quite likely. Interesting and exciting work, and yeah, if sometimes there can be opportunities that sort of almost fall in your lap. They're quite close to you, so just keep an eye out for those. Try something new, and not just at work, but in your personal life. Maybe pick up a new sport or go to different places, go to a new restaurant or something like that. It is definitely time to explore new alternatives now, because many doors can open for you. Alrighty, so that's your horoscope. Now I'm just going to close my eyes and see what I can see for you, Sagittarius, for the month of December 2021. The moon is in my face, and I hear the word, she brings good news. Okay, so normally the moon is sort of about your privacy, about your feelings, your emotions, being at home, being quiet. But this is more sort of like getting out into the world too. It's not a full moon. I'm seeing the crescent moon, and it's actually in the waxing stage. So it's getting bigger, and this is like bringing things into the world. This is like new things that are starting for you. Somebody's pointing to the ring and going like this, so could be an engagement or a marriage for some. But a ring is a circle. It's about completion, and it could be about you getting married to yourself in some way. So in other words, they're saying wedding, 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 wedding. It means coming together, joining together, and these are the energies within you, as well as the things that happen in the outside world, okay? But the energy's coming together within you, okay? So, yeah, it seems like quite a happy time for you this month. So that's good news. Okay, anything else? Yeah, the door's been closed on the past. Actually, the past is closing its own door. You don't have to do anything. It's just going to close by itself. Oh, well, there's an energy there pulling it, actually. But it's time to move on for you, Savvy Sagittarius. And, turn your face to the future because it's a much brighter and exciting time. Okay, so that's it, everyone. I hope this is useful for you. If you're new, subscribe and be alive. I would really appreciate that. And have a wonderful month. I'll see you all again soon, and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.